Have you ever wondered what lurks in the darkness of a deserted highway at night? Let me take you on a journey. Picture a solitary highway stretching out before you, swallowed by the obsidian cloak of the night. The world is still, the air heavy with an eerie silence, punctuated only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustling of leaves. There are no other vehicles in sight, no comforting glow of headlights to assuage your growing unease. The protagonist of our tale, a young man full of life and vigor, set out on what was to be an exhilarating night drive. The allure of the open road, the thrill of the journey, the freedom of the drive had initially filled him with excitement. But as the miles rolled on, that initial excitement began to wane, replaced by an inexplicable sense of unease. The night was deepening, and the darkness seemed to come alive. As the night deepened, so did my sense of foreboding. That's when I felt it, a chill like a ghostly presence in the car. A cold shiver ran down my spine, the hairs on my neck standing on end as I gripped the steering wheel. I glanced nervously at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see something otherworldly staring back at me. But there was nothing, only the black void of the night and the faint glow of the headlights reflecting off the wet asphalt. The car, once a sanctuary from the dark and desolate road, now felt like a trap. The air inside began to drop in temperature, a coldness that seeped into my bones. My breath fogged up the windows, blurring the outside world into a murky haze. It felt as though an unseen entity had made itself comfortable in the passenger seat, its icy touch permeating the car. A sudden static crackle broke the eerie silence, making me jump. The radio, previously off, had sprung to life. It began to flip through stations on its own, the cacophony of sounds morphing into a discordant symphony. The soft hum of jazz, the high-pitched laughter of a radio host, the rhythmic beats of a rock song, all blending into an unsettling soundtrack to my journey. My hands shook as I tried to turn it off, but the radio remained defiant, its ghostly operator seemingly enjoying the chaos. Fear gripped me, a primal terror that made my heart pound against my chest. It was a feeling of dread, of being watched by unseen eyes. The car seemed to echo with a spectral energy, a sense of something otherworldly lurking in the shadows. I could feel it, a weight in the air, a presence that was not my own. An unseen passenger, a phantom hitchhiker who had decided to join me on this haunted highway. The once comforting hum of the engine now sounded ominous, the road ahead seeming to stretch into infinity. The darkness outside felt oppressive, the shadows dancing with hidden horrors. I could feel the panic rising in me, the fear threatening to consume me. I was no longer alone in the car, and whatever had joined me was not of this world. The road ahead was engulfed in an unnatural darkness, as if daring me to drive on. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized that I was not merely contending with an unseen passenger, but I was also on a highway that was haunted. The realization hit me like a bucket of ice-cold water, sending a chilling sensation through every nerve in my body. I was in the middle of my worst nightmare, a chilling horror story that was unraveling in real time. The car, my trusted companion on so many journeys, seemed to have developed a mind of its own. It veered off the road, swerving into the ominous darkness surrounding us. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my knuckles turning white, fighting for control, but it was as if an unseen force was directing us. Then, the headlights began to flicker. They danced between a weak glow and blinding brightness, casting eerie shadows that twisted and turned, creating grotesque shapes in the darkness. The flickering light made it impossible to see the road ahead, compounding my fear and confusion. And then, the apparitions appeared. Ghostly figures, formless and ethereal, would suddenly materialize in the middle of the road, only to disappear as abruptly as they had appeared. Each apparition was more terrifying than the last, their ghostly presence a stark reminder of the haunted highway's grim past. I could feel them watching me, their unseen eyes boring into me, sending waves of fear coursing through my veins. The highway became a nightmarish landscape, The darkness, the flickering lights, and the apparitions creating a terrifying spectacle. My heart pounded in my chest, my breath came in ragged gasps, and I could hear the blood rushing in my ears. I felt the cold hand of fear clutching at my heart, the terror so palpable I could almost taste it. I was trapped in a nightmarish journey with no end in sight. In the midst of the terror, I realized there was only one way to escape. The haunted highway, notorious for its ghostly apparitions, had become my prison. The unseen passenger, a phantom hitchhiker, was a relentless tormentor. Yet, my will to survive was stronger than the fear that gripped me. My only hope, my desperate plan, to drive myself off this cursed road. The steering wheel felt icy cold in my sweating palms, a stark contrast to the pounding heat of my racing heart. I had to stay focused, had to keep my eyes on the road despite the chilling presence in the passenger seat. My fingers clenched around the wheel, knuckles turning white with the strain. The specters that haunted this highway were relentless, appearing and disappearing in the flickering headlights. Each apparition was a chilling reminder of the road's sinister history, a spectral echo of past tragedies. Yet, I couldn't let them distract me. I had to keep driving, had to escape this nightmarish journey. The engine roared defiantly as I pushed the pedal to the metal, the car accelerating with a desperate urgency. The road ahead was a swirling melee of darkness and spectral figures. The boundaries between the natural and supernatural blurred in my terror-stricken vision. Yet in the midst of this chaos, a strange calm descended upon me. The terror was still there, but it was no longer paralyzing. It became a fuel, an adrenaline rush that sharpened my senses and heightened my reflexes. I was no longer a victim. I was a survivor, fighting against the supernatural forces that sought to claim me. The night seemed endless, an eternity of terror and desperation. But then, on the horizon, a glimmer of hope appeared. The first streaks of dawn were breaking through the inky blackness, casting a warm golden light on the road ahead. As the first rays of dawn appeared, the ghostly presence vanished, leaving me alone on the road once more. The haunted highway was now just an ordinary stretch of asphalt, the spectral hitchhiker nothing more than a chilling memory. I had escaped the clutches of the unknown, survived the terror of the haunted highway. But the experience would stay with me forever, a haunting reminder of the unknown horrors lurking in the dark corners of our world.